Hey everybody, I'm just doing a quick recording today, and who knows, it may not be that quick. I'm gonna talk for a while here. The reason I'm doing a recording today is because today is sort of a red letter day for me. It's something that is kind of special because I thought for many, many years about doing it, and I thought maybe that it was never going to be possible, but it's come to be today, and that is today is my 1 year anniversary of not smoking marijuana. And that's pretty cool. I was watching a bunch of old videos I did about 3, 4 years ago online, and when I was getting high all the time, and I was observing my behavior and how I felt, and I came across a video where I was talking about how I was craving sobriety. I said like I'm craving sobriety, and I just think I should do that. And this was quite a while before I even tried to make the change. So last year, in the year 2014, I went about 10 months without smoking marijuana, but I was still having the occasional glass of alcohol, whether it's wine or going out occasionally, not very often, and drinking a little more, having shots of tequila or some beer and stuff like that. And the problem with that was that every time I would drink, I would be incredibly tempted to smoke. And so at every time in the past when I have managed to stop smoking for a while, I never stopped drinking, but my drinking would increase, and I would also, it would be getting drunk that wound up making me go and get high again. So this time around last year, I had my last drink on my sister's birthday, December 12th, 2012, and I did that specifically because I've just for a long time thought about wanting a truly sober year, because I've lived a very indulgent life as an adult, and I've had a lot to drink over the years, and certainly I smoked marijuana for 19 years since I was 21 until I started really trying to clean up my act with it last year. And it's not a criticism of anyone else. I do happen to think it's an addictive behavior, and I still have the same political views of it, that you should be able to possess it, smoke it, grow it, eat it, sell it. I believe in more freedom than the establishment grants people. But you know what else is? People often think they want to be free. They want to be free to do it, and so I recall this statement made by Rob Corey, this local lawyer here, kind of almost a local celebrity when it comes to marijuana activism and stuff. He used to stand on the stage at the 420 rally and say something along the lines, "I smell freedom, I smell freedom." Of course, the smell of people lighting up and smoking marijuana. And what I want to say about freedom is actually that, of course, I think we should have the freedom, like I said, to buy it, grow it, sell it, possess it, cook it, smoke it, whatever. I don't care. I think that putting people in jail for any of those things is far worse, far worse than anything you can do with marijuana. And my point was that, but let's look at another aspect of freedom, okay? If you feel trapped by it, like you can't help it, you want to get high all the time, and like me, if you've had temperamental feelings or dark feelings as a result of indulging too much and never really being able to stabilize your mood, then that's anything but freedom. So to me, freedom has another dimension, and it depends on your perception. It's also about being free to do it and yet choosing not to. Being free of doing it is an aspect of freedom. And to me, I've really discovered how valuable sobriety is, to be honest with you, because I'm so calm now compared to before. I mean, have these videos where I was mad and I was emoting very real stuff, and people just thought, "What a dick, he's crazy." But I was emotionally, not at my best when I was getting high all the time and drinking frequently, and so I decided this past year to clean up my act. And the last 6 months I've been meditating every day almost, except for when I've gone out of town. I've missed it occasionally here and there, but very consistently I've been meditating every single morning for about 15 minutes, followed by 10 or 15 minutes of very focused prayer. I'm not going to get into what that means. It may not be the traditional kind of prayer people are used to. It's a form of like focused meditation almost, like when I think about and go through all the aspects of my life and the principles, the template of principles I want to live by, and so forth. Very calm, and that routine in the morning precedes what I've been doing for the past year, which is exercising. I've been very involved in exercise. Started out last January, I think it was, with a 2 month cardio program called Insanity Max 30 by this company called Beachbody, and then I did 9 months of this routine called Body Beast. I finished 3 rounds of it, and I'm not done with that one either because I've gained a lot of muscle mass. You can even see in my face right now. I can see in my face how it's more rounded out, and these videos of a few years ago have me around about 140 pounds, and now I'm up to about 177, and a lot of that's muscle and bulk that I've built up working out over the last 9 months. And right now I'm doing a new routine, mixing it up a little bit, called 21 day fix extreme. It's pretty intensive for 21 days, and it's helping. It's just a good change of pace. And in the fall I'm going to be doing this thing called hammer and chisel, which is done by the same guy who did Body Beast and this lady who does the 21 day effects. It's just really meant to like chisel out the shape of the body and build some more bulk in my case. And then I'm probably going to get back to regular weightlifting to get a little bigger. But so those are the routines. If you were a fly on the wall before I quit smoking marijuana, if you saw me in the mornings, you would say, "Holy crap, this guy is full of rage, like every day." Rage. Like you see me yelling at people who aren't even there because I was so mad and pissed off and bitter. And I still have, I'm still human. I still have feelings of resentment, and I think I deal with them better now. And I just am not in as much of a dwelling loop by a long shot, no matter what we're talking about. And I'm not going to get into everything with anyone specifically. So I reached this point in life where, wow, I've been sober for a year. And that's extraordinary. I never thought for the longest time that was possible. I dreamt about it being possible, and I have to give some credit to this group I go to on Wednesdays, Marijuana Anonymous. There's a group of people I go see about quitting marijuana, people who've had difficulties like I have, and I'm amazed that there are people out there who identify with some of the same things that were bothering them in their frequent use of marijuana. And I have these voices in my head right now of people being judgmental of what I'm saying, but the truth is, I said I advocate for your choice, and what does anyone care if I want to be sober? I think that it's virtuous to discover that, to discover the benefit of sobriety. And it's many things. So, to create perfect harmony with myself, I stay sober. I pray to maintain that every day. And I also pray to maintain my fitness. And I also pray to have good nutrition and improve my nutrition so that as a physical being, I can be in perfect harmony with my life, with my personal potential, with my spiritual potential, with my professional potential. it all matters to me very much. So these things, it's very important that these things are in harmony with me. And having a background in the marijuana industry and having been an activist, I know some people will hear this and be like, duh. But it's like, I'm pretty pleased with how I've distinguished myself. And the ultimate test of what I'm saying is I feel good. But let me get to this next step of what I want to say about it. And it's like, now I've been asking myself, okay, I'm at a year. I have all these good habits that I have to maintain to stay sober and continue with. So I'm very into personal development. I've read a lot of books this past year having to do with personal development, especially things that I hope will facilitate my getting more involved in Beachbody business. And so, what's next? As I was saying, in this coming new year, being that this is December, I feel like this is a really good time to personally examine how I want to move forward, what I want to do. And the first one is, aside from what I already told you, maintain my sobriety, fitness, and improve my nutrition. I want to build my Beachbody business, and I want to also, this is what I've been thinking about a long time. I still have the radio bug in me. I feel like once I get warmed up, I can bippity bap and articulate a lot of very interesting ideas about a myriad of topics politically and so forth, including the topic of sobriety to some extent. But so I've been thinking about doing more content or a show based on some of my political views, and I'm apprehensive about that because it's like I know it'll just lead to a few people being trolls and coming after me for my ideas and my beliefs, and so I'm like I don't exactly know how to approach that. So I've been thinking about that a lot though. I have this yearning to do that, to put myself out there in that way because I think I have something to offer people. But also just I want to continue personal development, improving myself, learning new things. I love learning new things. I've been I have paid to host this cluster on a server so I can host websites, and I've been messing around with some stuff and learning this new content management system called Joomla. And as far as other things, uh, just reading books about self improvement, a lot of that stuff. I have a list of them on my Facebook page. Every time I read a book, I add it to this list of books I've read. And I'm in the middle of one right now called Drive, which has to do with how to motivate people, how to motivate oneself, how to get motivation out of kids, but not just basic motivation, motivation that doesn't short circuit people as far as being productive, like certain kinds of rewards might benefit in the short term, but in the long term, you're actually doing yourself harm or doing someone else harm the way you kind of put a carrot in front of someone's face. It's about intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic being for the good of you, being better yourself, or like extrinsic is like here's $50 if you think of the greatest idea in the world, and then it becomes work psychologically in someone's mind. But anyway, so yeah, I've been reading about motivation, been thinking about that a lot, and even like injecting the idea of motivation into my meditation routine. So yeah, I'm sober, and I do want to give a lot of credit to the people I get to go see on Wednesdays because I identify with a lot of what they're saying, and I sit and listen a lot. And if you compare my personality to a few years ago, I'm exercising and living a life with a lot more humility. It was like I was influenced by Howard Stern years ago, and so to me that meant just be wild and crazy and say the craziest thing that comes out of my mouth. And I still have some crazy thoughts, But I'm not just bombastic and trying to be shocking for the sake of being shocking. I mean, like, the honest to God truth is, I feel like I've grown up a little bit. And it's weird to say that. And I don't feel bad about saying that. I just think back about who I was and how I was behaving over the years in various stages of my adult life, how my substance abuse affected relationships, especially romantic relationships I've had over the years, including my marriage, and including like not wanting to be a father who abuses substances, and modeling good behavior for my daughter. This is very important to me. It's just very important to me to cultivate personal harmony, and that means cultivating relaxation in my spirit. That's a big thing. That's like very much one of the focus points of my meditation. Patience and focus on whatever it is I want to focus on with my goals. So that's good. I've said enough. So this is a really kind of positive day for me. I went to my sister's birthday celebration the other night. We went to a little Italian restaurant called Gaetano's. And like I said, it was the year anniversary of me not drinking. I drank at her birthday the previous year, and it's still built into me. And I know this because as I was sitting there and my dad was in front of me and he had his glass of wine in front of him, I twice reached out for his glass of wine when I was eating to grab it and take a sip without even thinking. And I was like, wow, it's still built into me. I still dream about smoking, and I even had a drinking dream last week. And so, I've indulged in those things enough, and you can tell when they're finding their way into your dream state like that. But that's pretty much all I want to say. And, just I'm not looking for people to criticize me for this, because everybody has to come to it themselves, and I would hope some people do. I'd love it if people saw that I've gone down this path and they're like, "Oh yeah, I kind of want that for myself too. That would be fabulous." But I'm not looking to be famous because of it. I'm saying this in the personal circles where my words get out there and whatnot. And so if you want to sober up, you certainly can, and it may be easier than you think, but you also have to come to the conclusion, for reasons only you know, why it may not be good for you. And I do think marijuana can help people in situations medically, and it does expand the mind some. This mystical feeling when you're thinking about things when you're high, it's different. It like opens up different doors to perception, as the saying goes. But notwithstanding all of that, the way I feel is I don't believe people should be pulverizing their brains with chemicals and experiencing euphoria and constantly bombarding your mind with chemicals to change your mood and your mental state. You should try to cultivate a very solid basis in sobriety for spirituality and emotional stability and mental equanimity, peace of mind. And so that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I'm in a pretty calm mood right now. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm calm. I just feel calm compared to the past. And these videos I saw last night, I was like, geez, I was off the wall. And sometimes it was humorous and funny, but I can see the look on my face, the glazed out eyes, the dull look. And knowing, looking back and knowing I wasn't happy, and hearing myself in that state saying I'm craving sobriety, and knowing now that, wow, I've achieved it for a while and it's been worth it. So I hope you're all having a good holiday season. Merry Christmas. I hope it's a good one. I enjoyed this little talk. I got warm, and once I get warm, my brain is like, and in the beginning, it's a little tough. But that's all I'm going to say right now, and I'm sure you will be hearing more from me in the future. Thank you, everybody, and take care.